Me mateys. Lame, I know, but hello and welcome to Skull and Shackles. I don't know if I have a real name for this stream as of yet, besides it being the Skull and Shackles solo campaign. If anything, it's also a Mythic Gestalt solo campaign. I'm Krifu Bernal, aka Chris Bernal in the real world, and this is the stream. I was inspired by this idea by What Do You Do Pods, Jason Lillis's tweet a while back about doing a solo Pathfinder or Starfinder Paizo game, solo campaign on TikTok. And when I started thinking about the possibilities therein, I thought to myself, well, why can't I? Why not? And so here we are. I did a poll on my Twitter a few weeks ago asking what adventure path people were most interested in seeing. It was between Reign of Winter, Iron Gods, and Skull and Shackles. And Iron Gods was in the lead at first for quite a bit. A sci-fi fantasy game is definitely in the vein of things I like, as a longtime regular Starfinder GM as well. But I have always been interested in trying more Pathfinder adventure paths, and the idea of not needing to be burdened by the schedule of, 4 other people. Burden's probably not the best word, but you know what? This is a pirate game. We don't want to be burdened by schedules and agendas, by the rules and responsibilities of proper society. So yeah, actually, pirate's life for me. I didn't want to have to be restricted by the campaign, by the schedule of other people to run this campaign. So why not? Play the PCs, play the GM, play all of the NPCs. Just do it for yourself. I think that's a very typical, maybe, I don't know, that's a very pirate way of looking at things. And so here we are. I am, as I've mentioned, this character is going to be Mythic Gestalt, just so that I can boost him up as much as possible. I'm going with a character who kind of looks a little bit like me, just so that I'll have an easier time of playing him in subsequent TikToks. If that's a thing. I don't know, sea shanties? It sounds pretty piratey to me. But I also feel like as we go through this, and as I'm editing video and putting it up on YouTube, because that's also a part of this, is being able to have a project in which I can practice all of the Adobe Suite skills that I want to practice. So as we go through and edit videos, I'm going to find scenes I think that will be good to stream on to TikTok. To film for TikTok scenes, green screens, sea shanties, and the like. I don't know, in the hopes of having fun doing a creative project that keeps me busy, inspires me, fulfills me. I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I think Skull and Shackles is a great medium for that. That sort of, I'm not gonna say selfish, more self-centered type of role-play experience. So, with that, let's make a toast to Besmara, the pirate queen, and adventures on the high seas. Ooh, sweet, sweet export. Some nice beer in the mug. As we get into character creation, I'm going to go ahead and change this music up. Or I'll let it actually go out. We've got 5 minutes on it. So right here, I've got pulled up the Pathfinder Adventure Path Player's Guide for Skull and Shackles. Player's Guide. Looks good. We're going to be going through this as I roll up my character on Hero Lab by Lone Wolf Studios. It is a paid for. Hey, OG WoW. Gestalt over multi-class. Yeah, I think going Gestalt at the very least will get me 2 levels in all 20 levels. Plus, I've never played with a Gestalt character before, and I've always been interested in it. There's also the fact that these adventures are written for a cast of 4 NPCs, and so I'll need as many tools in my belt as possible to overcome certain situations. That's not to say that I won't also have NPC allies with me along the way. There are many NPCs in the adventure path itself that are like primely situated to ally with you and to help you as you move forward. But I may also have a few friends draft up character concepts for me, and will introduce them into the story as their own mythic Gestalt characters. I want this campaign to be a legend of piracy, and so I really want to boost up that kind of power level as much as possible. There is that the Gestalt has the bonus of not needing twice the XP to get those levels, but the negative of only the lead class hit points and skill points. I think with the class choices that I picked, Fighter and Oracle, we probably won't see too much of a difference there. I don't think Fighter or Oracle get very many skill ranks, and we're definitely going to want the Fighter hit points for us as we're moving forward. I also have, this character is slightly based. I'm kind of imagining an aquatic divine cursed witcher, Geralt, essentially. In tone and personality, I see him being, very stoic, quiet, observant, and not really putting up with shit as much. Yeah, thank you. And I also have my friend Hopper over at the Legend Tree. They are drafting up a perfect pirate rival for Spear Morska, my Azarketi fighter oracle. So let's get into the player's guide a little bit, so we can see what exactly is coming up. Yes, you're totally on that. The fact that Oracle allows you to, with your GM hat, to give visions and bring in the narrative a little bit more. I definitely want to be able to kind of, put my hands on the dice, affix it to how I need it to be. On the other hand, as we play through, we're also going to be using the motif storytelling engine. You can find that on Drive-Thru RPG. It basically creates, it's a G-emulator that will allow you to use an oracle system, actually, is what it's called, to roll like 3d6 and ask the GM some questions. The GM being kind of, it kind of randomizes a game master, essentially. They also have the motif storytelling also has an engine for NPC and character emulation. So as we go, I'll also be using that for the NPC rivals and allies that we encounter along our way. At the end of the day, I think I'm here to tell a story, to be the writer, the director, the actor, and producer all in one. Because after 2 years of working on various TTRPG projects, I And this is partly my fault being a little too controlling, and partly just real life struggle with, like I said, being restricted by people's schedules. Hey, what do you do, pods? I thank you so much for the inspiration for this TTRPG project. I've always thought about what would it be like to do a podcast where you're voicing every character and the GM? And so I think streaming it, pulling the videos, potentially uploading dramatic scenes for TikTok is a great way of doing just that. Let's get some other music going. Here we go. So I'm super stoked to be jumping into this campaign. I've got the player's guide pulled up here, just for us to, as a quick reference to go through during while we're getting started for character creation. I already have the bones of the character picked out, as you can see on the nameplate. His name is Spear Morska, and he is an Azarketi, which very cool. Paizo just released the Lost Omens Ancestry Guide and a revamped Azarketi in there as well. Which interesting, to be honest, I hadn't really looked at the Gillmen, which is what they were called in first edition, very much at all. And so being able to see the Azarketi in the Ancestry Guide and what the kind of updated, modernized version of them looks like has helped me feel better about moving forward with this character. I also grabbed a Snapchat filter, so you can see I have purple eyes, like the Azarketi and the low Aslanti too. I don't know, I love it. It just looks super cool to me. So yeah, I've already picked out the bones. He is an Azarketi, a Gillmen, which means he's amphibious. He has issues with enchantments when it comes to the Algothlu or Aboleths, and he also is dependent on water. Luckily, we're playing an ocean campaign, a seafaring campaign, so this might be the only chance I get to really play this character. And we are gestalting Fighter Oracle, divine magic, so he can wear that medium armor, or whatever I end up wearing, honestly. And Fighter just for plain survivability. I thought about Ranger. I wasn't exactly sure, especially since he's kind of based on the White Wolf, the Witcher himself. But I also figured let's keep things simple. He is a follower of Besmara, and so Fighter, warrior, I think works. In that same vein, we're going with the mythic tier of champion as well. So if you're not familiar with Skull and Shackles, it is a piracy adventure path set in the world of Golarion, in the area of the Shackles. A place in, what is it, like central southwestern, the inner sea region, something like that, where the free captains, the pirates, reign free. Infamous free captains of the Shackles. Obviously, I've created a character who is interested in piracy, who found himself in port peril for one reason or another, in order to find a career to set out on his life of being a pirate. I've also already mentioned that we're going with an Azarketi. He's a seafarer. He loves the ocean, but there is something about him that wants to be on the surface, wants to engage with humanity and the rest of the world above the ocean. I definitely think we're going to have to grab maybe profession sailor or something like that as we go. We're also going to have to look at campaign traits, specifically figure out why our character, why Spear found himself in port peril in the first place. So let's look at those real quick. Here we go. All the following traits revolve around characters that have a reason to be in Port Peril, the unruly capital of the Shackles, and the circumstances that brought them to the notorious dockside tavern known as the Formidably Made, where they run afoul of a press gang from the pirate ship Wormwood. I'm a little, it's kind of awkward, like being press ganged to start off your adventure. It's almost like the prototypical you start in prison adventure idea, because in this case the campaign begins in the bilge of the Wormwood, where Captain Barnabas Harrigan and his crew have taken you and basically said, look, you're going to serve here. Plain and simple. It also doesn't seem like the best way to get sailors to build a crew. I would imagine you'd want people that are loyal to you, and if you just intimidate them into following you. But anyway, that's stuff we'll run into once we get going. Knowing that Spear is kind of based on a more divinely cursed Witcher concept, I think that's going to help us as we go through these campaign traits. So let's start with Ancient Explorer. You are a student of the ancient history of Golarion, and you've come to the Shackles to explore the crumbling and vine-choked ruins of the Cyclops Empire of Golgon. That doesn't sound very, very right for Spear. Barroom Tale Spinner. You grew up listening to tales of adventure and piracy on the high seas, and the sea chanties of old salts in dockside dives. That's not bad. +1 trait bonus on diplomacy checks and 1 category of perform checks. I don't mind that. He's an oracle, so he's going to have good charisma. But I like that one, Barroom. Besmara's Blessing. As an oracle, I definitely feel like there's something of Besmara's touch that's hitting him. GG wow. I think for now I'm going to stick with the adventure as written, especially for the first book, just because it is very much on rails. I definitely I think I'm going to include, like I said, my friend Hopper's rival NPC as a person who is press ganged alongside with me, because I do have a vision of the two of them, sort of like in the video game Fable style, these two rival heroes. The two of them starting their piracy career together, and then over time kind of growing apart and becoming these mythical, legendary, rival-free captains. So that's definitely one aspect that we're going to add into this campaign and to play with in the storyline as we go. But right, Besmara's Blessing. I'm particularly drawn to this campaign trait. Being born aboard a ship at sea or down by the docks in a port city on an auspicious day. We could easily say that Spear's parents maybe live in Port Peril, or maybe he's from the Isle of Kortos near Absalom, because the Gillmen do have like a much larger presence there. So, Old Salts and Sea Dogs nod knowingly and say that Besmara, the Pirate Queen, goddess of piracy, sea monsters, and strife, has marked you for a greater destiny. I like Besmara a lot in this regard because as a Azarketi, you're kind of a sea monster yourself. You've been mutated by these aboleths, which are technically aliens. Not going to think too hard about that, otherwise, the old mind brain will start hurting again. But there is something about her that feels like an appropriate sort of deity caretaker, or I don't know, like maybe, I don't know. There's something about it that I really like. But you've always felt more at home on the sea than on land, and your keen eyes can easily pick out a sail on the distant horizon. So +1 trait bonus on perception and profession sailor checks. I was thinking about taking the sailor profession. In addition, once per week, you can reroll a profession sailor check and take the higher results. I like that. You came to a tavern in Port Peril called the Formidably Made in search of your fate. You're not sure how many drinks you had, but they quickly went to your head and you passed out on the table before you found your destiny, unless it lay in the bottom of a bottle. Then again, maybe you find your destiny after all. So I'm going to go ahead and write down Besmara's Blessing. I'm leaning towards that one for sure. Let's see, campaign traits. Besmara's Blessing. Sweet. This is one of the crew members. I think that's Master Scourge. Here we've got Buccaneer's Blood. One of your ancestors was an infamous free captain of the Shackles whose very name struck fear in the hearts of those who sailed the seas in search of an honest living. Not bad. Piracy is in your blood. You've always longed to follow. That could work. Dockside Brawler. He grew up on the dangerous docks of one of the Shackles' numerous ports or anchorages, and quickly learned that fists often make a better point than fancy words, especially when used the right way. You've always preferred action to talk anyway. Not bad also. I mean, it doesn't beat Besmara's Blessing. Eye for plunder. You've always had a keen eye for the glitter of gold or silver, and you've robbed enough rich merchants and raided enough ships to have a feel for where the most valuable plunder is hidden. No, I'm going true neutral, and I don't feel like Spear's, connection to piracy really has much to do with material gain. I think his connection is with the ocean itself. And that's a part of why I picked the surname that I did for him. Morska actually means sea, S-E-E-S-E-A, the sea in Polish. And Geralt, by the way, I thought really long and hard about this earlier today. Geralt, the name means rule of spear. So I've kind of done a nod to our character concept inspiration through the name here of Spear Morska, so Spear of the Sea, essentially. I don't know what weapon will be his primary as we go, but a spear is always a great option when you're planning on spending time doing combat underwater. Ilis-Magordi native. You grew up in the city of Ilis-Magordi on Mediogalti Island, a pirate port infamous for both the scoundrels who visit it and the feared red mantis assassins who run it. No, I've already said that I think we want to be from near Absalom. Peg legs. I'm just going to go over. Let's read it. One of your legs was bitten off below the knee by a shark when you were just a child and was replaced with a wooden peg leg. You've long since gotten used to it, so it's a nice idea if you wanted to really start with a peg leg. We can see, I think it's up here, that the Skull and Shackles adventure path has options for peg legs and eye patches. If things go a certain way, Spear might end up needing an eye patch or a peg leg, or, just minor scars, but we really don't want to, as an oracle, we really don't want anything more than a one moderate scar. Loss of fingers, that would suck. Impressive wound, these optional rules are great, but at the end of the night, they really are going to make things harder for our character, as, losing a limb should do. Let's see, what else do we got? Ship Surgeon. On a ship, a sailor often has to learn multiple skills, and this rule certainly applies to you. Your father was a woodworker, and you learned your first trade from him. Nope, doesn't sound right. But here, touched by the sea, you've always felt the call of the sea, and your blood surges with the ebb and flow of the tides. As an Azarchetti, that makes perfect sense. Maybe one of your pirate parents was a sailor or a pirate, or maybe one of your ancestors had a bit of aquatic elf or undine blood in them. I did, think about both of those races for this campaign. I've always wanted to play an aquatic elf in an underwater campaign, and I've always really liked the Undine. I'm a Pisces. Water just is, I love it. Whatever the reason, you're as comfortable in the water as you are on the land. You gain a +1 trait bonus on swim checks, and swim is a class skill for you. I already have a swim speed. So swim checks and it being a class skill, I don't think I need to be particularly worried about either of those. You came to Port Peril in search of your destiny, and after a few drinks at a tavern called The Formidably Made, you went down to the docks to take in a view of the sea. Beautiful. The last thing you remember is a blow to the back of your head and the waves rushing up to meet you. Yeah, look at that art. I've never really necessarily wanted to play in a pirate campaign, but like I said, the idea of an aquatic adventure has always appealed to me. So we've got naval combat, which will definitely come into play at certain points. It doesn't figure much into the first book of this adventure. So for now, I'm gonna kind of skip through this stuff. I just want to make sure that there's nothing else inside the player's guide that we're missing past ship combat. The dog's barking. I'm sure y'all can hear it. And that'll be great for the YouTube after we finish the stream and it uploads. But oh well, I love him. He's a labradoodle, and he's the most beautiful, special dog in the world. He barks too much. I think we might be good. Ooh, look at that ship. That is spooky. Spooky ooky. Ghost ship? Maybe. I hope we run into a ghost ship. That would be nice. I mean, how can you not? I haven't read all of the adventure path. Oh, we've got some ship counters here too. That's especially nice. I think Roll20 will be... I have some maps set up in Roll20 already, obviously, but for ship combat, I think Roll20 will be a major asset. And here we've got a ship character sheet. This kind of reminds me of the Starfinder starship sheet. You've got all of your basic stuff, officers and their positions, the crew and their jobs. Cool. Cool. Let's hop over to Hero Lab. I've got that pulled up here. I am starting a new character, a mythic character. We already know his name, Spear Morska. And of course, he is played by Krifu. I am, thanks to, I think, GG Wow, your suggestion in our Twitter exchanges, I'm going to go with point buy, and we're going to go with 25 points. I want this to be epic fantasy. I really want to feel the mythical, legendary quality of this character, and the fact that he's chosen for this adventure path, chosen by Besmara, and blessed in ability otherwise for it. I also want him to survive. That would be nice. So right, let's go to the background. We already know his race. In first edition, they were called Gillmen, not Azarketi. Azarchetti is a lot nicer because it doesn't have man in it. It's gender neutral essentially, and doesn't presuppose pronouns for the character. But we're using Hero Lab. I'm pretty sure he worships Besmara. There is something about the fact that she has war in her domains because he is a warrior. There is the other god that was on the table was Gozre, who has water in their domains, as well as oceans. And their favorite weapon is the trident. Yeah, of course, GG Wow. Our conversation on Twitter really got me thinking a lot, and I was like, okay, what can I do to make this character as powerful as possible? Right, but so Ghost Ray's really more of a deity of nature and the sea and weather. Their alignment fits with Spear's alignment, who is going to be true neutral. But there's something about that kind of detachment that isn't in Spear's nature either. Despite the fact that he is a stoic person, there is something about the grandioseness of Besmara's domains, of her catalog, that I think appeals to him. I think especially if he is Besmara's, if he has Besmara's blessing, there's a reason he's worshiping her. Sorry, we start off with Aboleth or Algolthulu, which is what in second edition they are calling the Aboleth language, and he knows Common. Let's go through some of the racial traits for the Azarketi. They are amphibious. They can survive indefinitely on land, in the air, but they do have the aquatic subtype. The Azarketi being mutated by the Aboleths. GG, wow, interesting point. Picking the higher point build means that one could pick character feats as opposed to trying to min-max on everything. And that's exactly the point. I want to make him well-rounded without having to worry about the aspects that I'm missing. In a regular campaign where you have 4 people, you can have a low dex or a low intelligence, and hopefully someone else in your party can make up for it. But in a solo campaign, you really have to try and cover all of your bases. But yes, the Azarketi, once long ago, this goes into their history as a culture, before Earthfall, which was when Golarion kind of went dark. We could refer to it as Earth's sort of extinction event with dinosaurs, where meteors hit the Earth. It's also when the Starstone came, and there's more reasons to it. Wait, was it? Am I misremembering this? Because the Aboleths, yes, they made Starfall happen because the Aslanti had figured out their true nature. But they took some Aslanti that were still loyal to them and mutated their flesh, bringing them down into the oceans with them. As a consequence of that, they were able to survive underwater indefinitely, but also have a penalty on saves saves on enchantment spells and effects against Aboleth sources. I'm praying to Besmara that the Aboleths do not feature in this adventure path. I'm sure they feature in the Aslanti adventure path, which I forget the name of at the moment. But I'm just hoping. It's going to make a great story point if they do. Right, thank you, GG Wow. That's correct. The Aboleths brought Earthfall down as revenge for the Aslanti turning away from them. And in that same regard, one might think of the creation of the Azarketi as further revenge, mutating the Aslanti into what's now referred to as low Aslanti, and causing them to be even more loyal to the Aboleths. And that takes us to the next racial trait, Servitor. Azarketi Gillmen serve the dark, unfathomable schemes of the reclusive Aboleths. But unless the Gillmen go hit against the orders of their Aboleth masters, which are often unknown to them, masked in the form of hidden memories triggered by key events, they are free to act as they wish. In a campaign, these orders are wholly up to the GM, meaning the player of a Gillman character cedes some elements of self-control when it best serves the story. Second Darkness, the adventure path, gives the history in more detail and is part of the theme of the path as such. Second Darkness. Okay, cool. There is Second Darkness, but there is also the Ruins of Aslant adventure path. I think Aboleths feature in that one as well, I would imagine. So this is an interesting racial trait. It's very much a roleplay and narrative aspect. This isn't something that is necessarily mechanically going to affect the character. Huh. But it does give me some leeway as the GM, writer, director, producer, to maybe add some things. GGWow, as you mentioned, there are there are opportunities in every adventure path where you can add your own spin or add your own little side stories. And so I'm going to write this down, Servitor. Does Spear have Aboleth connections? Is it possible that the Aboleths of the Shackles Inner Sea region are trying to put a pawn into the free captains? That's really, that's changing things in my mind. Do they want a free captain servant? Ruins of Aslant. Yeah, what do you do, Pods? You never know where the Aboleths are going to show up. I mean, the ocean is vast. It covers the majority of the planet. I would not be surprised. We also, in Aboleth history, know that they are on other planets. That their planet was, they destroyed their planet and opened portals across the universe. So I'm actually kind of curious as to how Aboleths play into Starfinder. Something we may have to look up at a certain point. The Avalanche Corruption, I did see that, GGWow, at some point. It's essentially the Avalanche Corruption kind of built in. We're getting to that, the downside of being an Azarketi. I mean, not that Servitor isn't already a downside. We know that they can breathe water, but this also makes them dependent on water. A Azarketi's body requires constant submersion in fresh or salt water. Azarchetti who spend more than one day without fully submerging themselves in water risk internal organ failure, painful cracking of the skin, and death within 46 hours. 4D6. This is scary. And this was one of the main things where I was thinking, do I really want to play a Gillmen in Azarketi? Do I really want to have to worry about my character dying because I can't get to a source of fresh or salt water? But it's a pirate campaign. We're spending almost all of our time on the ocean, or at the very least on an island near, where there's plenty of water to dive into. So I'm hoping that this isn't going to be an issue, at least for a while. Well, so that's our race. We know our class. We're going to go with Gestalt. And we know that he's going to be a fighter. A fighter oracle. You can download, hey, failed badly. How's it going? We're doing character creation for the solo campaign. This is Spear Morska, an Azarketi or a Gillmen, who is an amphibious type humanoid. Nice. That's awesome. Create water spell or a wand early. That is helpful. If I can make a bath by creating water, I won't have to worry about risking internal organ failure by not submerging my body fully after a 24-hour period has passed. Yeah, that's a great idea. We're giving him some classes now. He's got Oracle Fighter, so you can download, if you've got Hero Lab, you can download the Gestalt's community package from online that will add this in. It is custom. It's not supported by Hero Lab per se. I did a little playing with it earlier, and it seems like it's working for the most part. So we're a level 1 character with a level in both Fighter and Oracle. Not everything's stacking, but it's stacking enough in a way that we want, essentially. We can look at our saves and see that he's got 2 to fortitude from being a fighter, and 2 to will saves from being an oracle. And we'll be able to see these over here as well. As a fighter, I need to take a bonus feat, and as an oracle, I need to take mysteries and a curse. This is going to be a hard one to pick, but let's go to our abilities first. Like I said, we're doing a 25-point buy. We want him to feel epic, more powerful than your average PC. He's also going to be a melee character. As a solo campaign, he does not have the luxury of sitting in the back and sniping with ranged weapons or spells. So we know we got to up our strength. Absolutely. We're looking at least a 16, if not a 17, 18. We're an oracle, so I want to boost that charisma. I don't know how high I need it exactly, but I think taking it to 15 isn't the worst idea. Azarketi start with a bonus to charisma. They have that Azlanti, like charismatic, magnetic energy in them. Because as you may or may not know, in the Pathfinder, the Azlant is essentially Earth's equivalent to Atlantis. So Oracle shouldn't restrict any armor options. They are a divine spellcaster, so I'll be able to wear, up. I'm probably going to go with medium armor. I definitely will need some dex, at least a 12. I also want to up my wisdom. It's one thing to min-max when you've got a party to back you up, but as a solo character, I want to minimize whatever defaults I might have. Especially if I do run into aboleths, that -1 to my will saves against them, which will come down to a -2 because they're just impossible because of the enchantment resistance that I have. I don't want to be mind controlled by any aboleths, honestly. I've got plenty of points left. We're going to up his constitution, put him at a 14 for sure. And let's see, I think I'm going to bump strength to 17. I'm going to put strength and charisma in odd numbers so that later on when I get those extra ability points, I can boost them up to an 18 and a 16 and boost that modifier up. I've got 3 points left. I could do con, put that to 16, which means he's sitting at level 1 with 14 hit points. As a mythic character, I automatically stabilize when I am below 0 hit points. I'm hard to kill, so I'm not necessarily worried about him dying out like that. There is the chance of instant death, massive damage. But if I go unconscious, I'm going to hope that he is being captured in some way, or that someone is there to save him, an ally, or even a rival. I'm pretty happy with this combo so far. I like the massive constitution. I mean, that puts his fortitude at a +5. So any poisons or diseases that I might run into, I'm going to have a really nice bonus against those. Dex could be better. We do want to avoid attacks. But I may play with it after I look at what armor I have to use. I definitely think we might give him a shield at some point. Fighter bonus feat. This is going to be hard. I'm realizing that you guys also can't see the pop-ups that are popping up in Hero Lab, so that's a little annoying. I've got a a list here with all of the armor options. Excuse me, all of the feat options. There's a lot. I mean, this is Pathfinder, so it's all about those feat options. Charisma for spells, definitely. There is intelligence for skills. If I wanted, I could bring Constitution down, bump intelligence by 2, and give him a little bit more extra skill points. With charisma, as long as I'm not taking spells that require the enemy to roll DCs, to roll saves against it, I think I'm okay not boosting charisma to a 16 at this point. If I take spells specifically that are focused on buffing, because we really want him to be a melee damage dealer tank. So I'm hoping that we can get some good skill choices. But I do like the idea of giving him a couple more skill ranks. Even just the 1 will be super helpful. We also could... I'm going to make fighter his... I read that if you do gestalt, it could mess up. I'll make fighter his favored class. We could give him an extra skill rank through being a fighter. But there is... I think we'll leave it at hit points for now. He's sitting at a 13, which is one of my favorite numbers. So I kind of like it. And with the intelligence, he gets a bonus starting language. Let's look at the valid items. Elven, Aquan, Aklo, and Draconic. Aquan is a great language to pick. He's from beneath the sea. He probably knows. He probably has met Undines before. Elven, if he's had to work with or trade with aquatic elves in the past as well, that could be quite useful. I think Elven, just because it feels a little bit more common. And I like the idea of him, maybe he's had an aquatic elf lover in the past. With this bonus feat, I feel like we might be in a good position to give him weapon focus. I feel like weapon focus with the spear. He does start with the... does he start with the Azlanti language? He starts with Aboleth. I don't think... And it also... Azlanti was not an option for me as a starting language. Yeah, my background does not allow me to learn this language as a starting language. But that's okay. I think Elven's nice. And Aboleth works as well. But right, bonus feats. There's also armor focus. So you select one type of armor, such as chain shirt or splint mail, and the AC bonus granted by the selected armor increases by 1. That's nice. Whatever ACs I can boost him, whatever boost I can give to his AC is I definitely want. Dodge would be a nice option as well to boost his dodge, his dexterity-based AC. Unfortunately, I don't think my dexterity is high enough to qualify for it. Improved initiative is a good one. If I get ambushed or in any kind of combat situation, especially as a solo character, having a +4 bonus on my initiative checks would definitely be helpful. At the very least, just to maneuver around and get myself into a position where I'm not instantly being swarmed and outnumbered by enemy combatants. There's Lookout. There's also, we could give skill focuses if we need him to the raw number of starting feats. I might be starting with the raw number of starting feats. I think I could give him more, but I am kind of a stickler when it comes to the rules. I like staying within that a little bit. This is hard. This is really hard. Defensive combat training? No. You excel at defending yourself from all manner of combat maneuvers, where you treat your total hit dice as your base attack bonus. I'm a fighter. I'm going to have a good base attack bonus. 3 extra 1 character per class, per story type background. 3 extra feats. Interesting. I don't know. I kind of want to. I want to make sure he survives. Let's see if I can figure. As a gestalt character, I could give him bonus hit dice, bonus saving throws, bonus skill points, bonus skills, change his starting wealth. Nah, I'm gonna leave it. I think I might leave. I'm gonna leave it for now. We'll see as things go on. Maybe I'll grant him bonus feats for accomplishing certain things. Don't forget, he's also mythic. We've also got the mythic path, so he'll have some extra options from that as well. I'm going to change up the music as we're moving into Oracle. The Mysteries. Ooh, yes, Mythic Feat, exactly. Thanks, GG. I looked this up earlier. I'll use this. Besmara, and what mysteries are best for her. Her domains are chaos, trickery, war, water, and weather. And so those are the types of mysteries I think we're going to look for to begin with. There is the mystery of battle, which would be quite helpful for him to just because he is combat focused, and we're don't forget we're using the Witcher as our character concept inspiration, and he's all about that combat. There's also the mystery of waves. I think that would make a lot of sense. But as an Azarchetti, he's already touched by water, by the waves. What else? Intrigue? Would Besmara be interested in intrigue? I don't know. The mystery of bones. She's not really into undeath. I think battle. The mystery of battle is probably our best way to go here. Ooh, excuse me. That's going to add enlarge person to his spell list. Now we go into our oracle curses. In Oracle, they're attuned to a certain mystery of the universe. In our case, it's the mystery of battle, of war. But in addition, they are cursed by something. I think one, especially because we may want to leave into the servitor aspect of being an Azarketi. The first curse that instantly springs to mind is the Aboleth curse. Your mind is marked by Aboleth tampering, either as a result of a close encounter with one of these creatures while you were a child, or even through an ancestor, close family member, or one of your sisters or brothers in faith. This associate's interaction with the Aboleths may be all that it takes to infect you. You take a -2 penalty on saves against mind-affecting effects, and add Charm Person and Hypnotism to your list of first-level Oracle spells known. Oh. Hey, Chris Fox. Welcome to the stream. We are doing a character creation for my solo campaign in the Pathfinder Adventure Path Skull and Shackles. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to see you again. We're looking at Oracle Curses. I like the Aboleth one. Taking a -2 penalty on saves against mind-affecting things. That's bad. That's really, really bad. It's not great. It's worse. Huh. Okay, so the next one below is the accursed curse. You are cursed with misfortune and sorrow, and you cannot gain benefit from morale bonuses. Basically, like a bard's inspire courage won't do anything for you. Androids have this issue where they can't gain benefits from morale bonuses. I kind of like that a lot, especially if we're going with the Geralt, inspired character concept. He is so goddamn stoic. Like, seeing him crack a smile feels like a revelation in and of itself. So while while I would be unable to gain benefit from morale bonuses, I would gain a +4 bonus to all saves against curse effects. That's not bad. I don't know how often I am being cursed, but a +4 is nice. However, it doesn't add very many bonus spells to my repertoire. The Aboleth one is adding one. It's adding 2 at first level, and then at 5th, 10th, and 15th level, I'm getting 2. But at Accursed, I'm only getting 1 at 5th level and 1 at 10th level. And then at 15th level, I would be immune to curse effects, except for my own Oracle Curse. Wonderful point, GG Wow. Having said that, when doing a solo campaign, it is best to move away from using too much charm compulsion on the lead character, Spear in this case, and have them target the NPCs. I think that's a great idea. Especially as an Aboleth and being a servitor, I do like the idea of him being really susceptible to Aboleth enchantment, mind control. And so I think that really would make our Aboleth connection as we go on, because I'm pretty sure that, yes, his whole desire to become a free captain of the Shackles is, or maybe it hasn't been fully planted by an Aboleth, an Algolthu overlord, but it's definitely like up there. There is also the Deep One curse. The lure of the ocean tugs at your soul. You reduce your base land speed by 5 feet. You gain a swim speed equal to your land speed, and if you already have a swim speed, you increase it by 10 feet. I already have a swim speed of 30, so that would give me a swim speed of 40 feet. At 5th level, your natural armor bonus increases by 1 as your skin thickens. And then at 10th level, you gain a +1 bonus to your caster level when casting spells underwater. And at 15th level, you gain the benefits of freedom of movement while underwater. I really like this one. The Deep One curse, because there's something about the ocean that can never let him go, especially as an Azarketi, the fact that he needs to submerge himself in water once every 24 hours or he starts to die. The Deep One curse only really hammers in that point. It also it makes sense for a Besmara curse, being the queen of the seas, essentially. She's saying, no, I mean, you can never leave me, never leave the ocean. Right, Gigi, if we went with, I'm very interested in what kind of supplanted memories the Aboleth overlords might have put inside of him. Looking at these other curses, there is the Haunted curse. I find that's a pretty prototypical oracle curse. It gets used quite often. Malevolent spirits follow you wherever you go, causing minor mishaps and strange occurrences. Retrieving any stored item from your gear requires a standard action unless it would normally take longer. Any item you drop lands 10 feet away from you in a random direction. That's fine. I don't know why he would be haunted or what he would be haunted by. Maybe people in his past, his family, or something. Promethean, your body is falling apart, forcing you to rely on mechanical augmentations or replacements to keep yourself alive. No thank you. The Shadowbound, your pigmentation is oddly colorless and your eyes are highly sensitive to light. Definitely not. This is the only other one that I was interested in. Hey, Midnight! Thanks for coming. We're rolling up our my character for this solo Skull and Shackles pirate adventure path. And he is a fighter oracle. So at the moment we're looking through oracle curses. Oracles they tap into one of the mysteries of the universe. In our case, we're picking battle. No, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're picking battle for our mystery. He's a wonderful warrior, and I think a major draw to the life of piracy is the fact that pirates fight, and he likes to fight. But the curse is hard. There's something about this mystery that's afflicting him. The last curse I wanted to look at was the Shattered Psyche. Your mind is crowded with dozens of voices, fragmented snippets of your past lives. You take a -2 penalty on all intelligence-based skill checks, wisdom-based skill checks, and concentration checks. You gain a +4 competence bonus on saves made against mind-affecting effects. At 5th level, you're immune to charm effects. GG wow, if we wanted to really avoid him being charmed moving forward, this would be the way to go, making him immune to charm effects. At 10th level, you're immune to compulsion effects. And at 15th level, you're immune to all mind-affecting effects. Interestingly enough, this Oracle Curse comes from the Iron Gods adventure path, which is really almost one of the adventure paths that I chose. But no, it definitely ticks all the boxes. But I think we kind of really want to lean into No, Midnight. Unfortunately, I have not yet reached affiliate status. I think I'm almost there. Just need to bump that average viewer. And tonight, I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. It's super appreciative. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to have people to hang out with as I go through this. I think we may go with the... no, I can't go with Avaleth. Taking a -2 penalty on saves against mind effects, that's just not good. The deep one, though. Yeah, thanks, GG Wow. It's the deep one, for sure. I don't mind reducing my base land speed by 5. I'm alone. If I'm moving around, maybe I can take the fleet feat and boost his speed up to kind of make up for that. But having a 40-foot swim speed and having 5th level and natural armor bonus, that's going to be clutch at the end of the day. Okay, now we've got Revelations. Being an oracle of the battle mystery, I have access to these revelations, these understandings of the thread, the weave of battle. Right, GG. Just make sure your enemies come to me. I mean, it's not like they're going to anyone else. So let's go through these. There are several maneuver masteries. If I wanted to be really good at combat maneuvers, I could grab one of these. I don't think I'm interested in combat maneuvering. We've got Battle Cry. As a standard action, you unleash an inspiring battle cry, and all allies around you gain a +1 morale bonus equal to your charisma modifier for a number of rounds equal to it. Okay. I don't feel like a particularly inspiring person. Then there's Battlefield Clarity. Once per day as an immediate action, whenever you fail a save that causes you to become blind, deaf, frightened, panicked, paralyzed, shaken, or stunned, you may attempt the save again with a +4 insight bonus on the roll. That's clutch. Any one of those status effects would knock me out of combat, and that's the last thing that I want to happen. Becoming paralyzed when I'm alone in combat? Hell no. This next one, though, Resiliency, sounds good. You are not disabled, and you do not gain the staggered condition if you are reduced to 0 hit points. At 7th level, you gain Die Hard as a bonus feat. I'm already mythic. I'm hard to kill. No, Skill at Arms isn't it. You gain proficiency in all, or excuse me, resilience isn't it? The next one is skill at arms, which gives you proficiency in all martial weapons and heavy armor. I'm already a fighter. I don't think I need that. Aha! This one is called Surprising Charge. Once per day, you can move up to your speed as an immediate action. You can use this ability one additional time per day at 7th level and 15th level. My land speed's already reduced, so being able to move up to my speed, like for free once per day, would be super helpful. This next one is called War Sight. Whenever you roll for initiative, you can roll twice and take either result. Oh, so I could go first or last. At 7th level, you can always act in the surprise round, but if you fail to notice the ambush, you act last, regardless of your initiative result. You act in the normal order in the following rounds. At 11th level, you can roll for initiative 3 times and take any one of the results. That's nice. That's initiative mastery, essentially. Then there's weapon mastery. Select one weapon with which you are proficient. You gain weapon focus with that weapon. I think battlefield clarity is the way to go. To be able to re-roll the saves that would knock me out of the game, that's major clutch. There is no reason not to take that. Okay. Spells. Spells are next. I need 0 level spells and 1st level spells. An oracle is a spontaneous caster. They don't learn or prepare their spells as clerics and wizards do. They act like sorcerers. In this case, an oracle is exactly that, a divine sorcerer. A sorcerer was an option that I thought about taking, but sorcerers, arcane spellcasters, are limited by the armor that they wear. Divine spellcasters are not. I think create water might be the way to go. Gigi, you mentioned needing to be able to have water on hand, just in case I can't get to a river or the ocean in time. If I don't submerge myself once per day, I'm dead. I'm dying in 4d6 hours. Let's see, 4d6. $14 hours isn't that bad. 14 hours is a lot. That gives me almost over half of it a second day to find water to submerge myself in. There's also detect magic, but I'm not a magician. I don't feel like I'm going to be particularly skilled at identifying magic things. Purify food and drink. It's not bad. Light. I think create water and light as my cantrips are the way to go in this case. I get 4 cantrips. Guidance would be nice. I'm always a fan of guidance. Getting that +1 to certain skill checks. I won't say no to that. Then I could take resistance, give myself a +1 resistance bonus on saves for a minute. That's really nice. That's really, really nice. Of course, that doesn't stack if I'm wearing something that has resistance, that gives me a resistance bonus. I don't hate mending. Mending wouldn't be so bad. There's virtue. Give myself a 1 temporary hit point. I'm not totally into it. Hey Zero, I am adapting the adventure. We're doing the Skull and Shackles adventure path. which is written for four player characters. At the same time, though, I am going to be taking full advantage of pre-written NPCs that are in the adventure. It's a pirate campaign, and so by the end of the first book, yeah, spoiler alert, you have your own ship and a crew to run it. So there are plenty of NPCs there to help you. I'm also going to ask some folks to come up with character concepts for NPCs that we can inject and have join the crew as needed. At the moment, Failed Badly over at the Legend Tree is coming up with a mythic pirate rival, and I think they are going to be my second in command, at least for the first book. We may end up parting ways as we go on, but I do really like the idea of having a second person there with me, at least for the beginning. Real quick, how's my camera quality? I feel like I'm seeing some kind of like lagging, twitching a little bit on my laptop here. It might just be because of the internet, but please let me know if you're seeing any kind of quality issues. Great question, Zero. It doesn't work per se as like a regular adventure. It's definitely, you're gonna, like, a lot of the secrets and stuff are spoiled for you. But I'm going to try and avoid metagaming as hard as possible. If I know, even though I know that your mouse is in your video feed. Oops. Hold on. Right there in front of me. That's funny. Okay, thanks, Gigi. I'm gonna have to lower. I think I'm gonna have to keep lowering and lowering until what I'm boosting to OBS is like the lowest quality possible. Super annoying. I also live in a house with 4 other people. So in Germany, where apparently the internet is kind of like notoriously bad anyway. So I don't know. At a certain point, I'm just gonna have to accept it, I think. But right, Zero, to further answer your question, I'm doing whatever I can to boost my character up. He's mythic and he's gestalt, so every level he basically has 2 classes with most of the extra bonuses that come with that. I think for my last spell, we're gonna go with Resistance for now. I can cast that like before I go into potential combat situations. Yeah, that'll be helpful. I can always internet will be the internet, that's for sure. But with these spells, I can always switch them out. I think I can switch out one spell. Hold on, let's double check. Yeah, I should be able to. Special abilities. No. I think every level I should be able to switch out one of the spells I know with something else. I do get 2 level 1 spells. I can cast them 4 times a day, but I only know the 2. Advanced Scurvy. That's a nice one. That's definitely Besmara's touch. Advanced Scurvy. I think I want to avoid spells that require saves. Just because my charisma is not going to be as high as it could potentially be. I want to focus on spells that buff me, essentially. Buffing spells. So Magic Weapon, I think, would be a great spell option. Throwing that on the list. Here's a spell called Preserve. Nope, that's for corpses. Shield of Faith. that lasts for a minute per level, creates a shimmering magical field around the target that averts and deflects attacks. The spell grants the subject a +2 deflection bonus to AC. Yeah, that might have to be it. Weapon wand? No, no. Put a wand inside of a weapon. I think Shield of Faith. Magic weapon, Shield of Faith, those are classic buffing. Especially as a battle oracle. Those both make perfect sense to me. Divine Favor might be nice. Calling upon the strength and wisdom of a deity, you gain a +1 luck bonus on attack and weapon damage rolls for every 3 caster levels you have. That lasts for a minute. But Shield of Faith lasts for a minute per level. Yeah, Shield of Faith it is. I think that's perfect. Okay, let's jump back over to Fighter. I don't think Fleet is a potential fighter feat, but we were talking about maybe giving him armor focus, boosting that AC as much as possible. Exotic weapon proficiency. I don't think there's any exotic weapons that I was thinking about taking. Besmara's favored weapon is a rapier. Don't know if I'll necessarily be using one of those, but that's definitely a very piratey thing to use. Improved initiative was one of my other thoughts. I feel like having that bonus initiative. Oh my god. This feat is called Desperate Battler. Your experiences fighting against numerous foes that have already overwhelmed your allies, friends, and family have forced you to excel at fighting on your own. When no ally is within 10 feet of you and you are not receiving benefits from the aid in another action, you gain a +1 morale bonus on melee attack and damage rolls. That's it. That's the feat. Absolutely, Desperate Battler. It's all about fighting on your own. Like battling in combat on your own, and that's definitely something that we need to focus on, to have. Absolutely. Okay, skills. I get 5 skill ranks, which isn't bad. I think boosting that intelligence was a good idea. We're gonna put a skill rank in swim and survival. Just because we want, we want to have a little bit of that that Witcher mentality. The character concept is inspired by Geralt, the Wolf of Rivia, because I've been playing a lot of The Witcher auf Deutsch, and I really like him as a character. So Spear is going to be quite stoic as well. I want him to at least to be trained in some survival. Yes, GG, wow, perfect. We need to give him Profession Sailor. Profession Sailor. I'm also going to go ahead and add all of the knowledges that are class skills. I may not necessarily have ranks in them just yet, but I want them on the sheet so that I can see that they are options for me at a certain point. Profession Sailor is rank number 3. He is a sailor, so climb is definitely, I think, one of the options. It's also a strength-based skill, which is his best ability score. So he may need to climb the rigging at points. This is tough. I have 1 rank left. I'm just going to go with Perception. But my wisdom's not that great, so Perception needs to be one of the class skills. Absolutely. GG, yeah, absolutely. There are these knowledges: Dungeoneering, Engineering, History, Planes, Religion. I can't use those unless I'm trained in them, but at the moment I don't think that I can put a rank into them. We have feats here, but I want to make sure that there are backgrounds, like further backgrounds we can add. This is interesting. Add a homeland. Consult your DM. Add parents. Add circumstances of birth. This is all from the Ultimate Campaign book. Interesting. And then other backgrounds. Sorry, what I wanted to do was make sure we added the campaign traits. But I'm trying to figure out where traits are added. Journal. Special in play. I haven't figured out what traits I'm going for just yet. I'm also not seeing where I can add traits in here. Abilities, fighter. There is the mythic. I've already decided we're going to go with the champion mythic path. Oh, which gives us a whole bunch of things. Damn. Gender male. He's a lot taller than 5'4". We're going for at least 6'1", 6'2", which is my height. 6'3", yeah, taller, as tall as possible. Huh, I do not see where I can pick. I guess it would be under here somewhere. These traits, I see. Ah, you gain access to the bullied combat trait. Okay, got it. Add training. Add moral conflict. I'm going to have to look these up at certain... You have 0 moral conflict points. Suggested alignment lawful good. As I take these traits, I am adding moral conflicts. Interesting. I wish y'all could see the second window that's popping up. I might leave these for now. That's a lot of good stuff that I definitely want to think about. But for now, I think we'll leave it. Romantic history, significant relationships, resolution for moral conflicts, and then other backgrounds, nothing to choose from. Yeah, I'll come back to that. We do know we want to take the Besmara's Blessing campaign trait. And here is the option for drawbacks. So we may end up taking multiple traits, depending on how this all goes. Let's continue with character build for now. So I'm going with the champion, which... I'll just read it. The champion, as far as mythic paths go, there are multiple mythic paths. I felt like champion, being a champion of Besmara, fit relatively well for him as a fighter oracle. The champion is the pinnacle of skill at arms and armor. No ordinary fighter could hope to match the skill with a blade, a bow, or an axe that surges within a mythic champion. The champion turns aside blows and shatters shields with every movement, all while racing gracefully across the chaotic battlefield. When the screams of fallen foes die down, the champion stands strong and defiant in blood-spattered armor, hefting a weapon and shouting a terrifying war cry. Yeah, that's absolutely what we're doing. We gain 5 bonus hit points, so we're sitting at 18 hit points now. Hard to kill. Great. We gain 1 mythic feat and we gain a mythic power. Mythic power, which we can use 5 times a day. One of those we can use it to surge, do a mythic surge, and add a D6. To I think a D20 roll. Yeah, use 1 power to increase any D20 roll by the listed amount. I also get a champion strike. I have 3 options for this. I can use the Distant Barrage. As a swift action, you can expend 1 use of Mythic Power to make a ranged attack. No thanks. As a swift action, you can expend 1 use to move up to your speed. At any point during this movement, you can make a single melee or ranged attack at your highest attack bonus, adding your tier to the attack roll. That's nice. As a deep one curse, being as having the deep one curse, my speed is down to 25 feet now. Yeah, 25 feet per round. Not great. So being able to expend mythic power to charge across the battlefield, that's fucking phenomenal. Or I can take sudden attack. As a swift action, you can expend it to make a melee attack at your highest attack bonus. When making a sudden attack, you roll twice and take the better results. And damage from this attack bypasses all damage reduction. That's really fucking good. That's really good. Like, I don't need to move fast if I'm getting not only like a second attack every round. Okay, thanks, GG. That's, yeah. Not only a second attack, but a second attack with advantage. Not every round, but when I use it. Fuck yeah. Oh my god, Mythic is awesome. Oh shit. Mythic Path abilities. Yes, I was looking at a lot of these the other day, and there are so many of them. One of them being your base land speed increases by 30 feet. Absolutely, GG WoW. Negating damage resistance is huge. Luckily, I took magic weapons, so if I'm running into things that need magic weapons, like I don't have to worry about expending that surge, or that mythic power. I feel like impossible speed is really good. I'm gonna need to move around the battlefield, or maybe I don't need to move around the battlefield because everything's just gonna surround me anyway. I could go with mythic weapon training. Aha. Mythic weapon training. It gives you proficiency with all weapons in this group. As a fighter, I'm proficient with almost every martial weapon. But if you possess a feat such as weapon focus that requires you, speed is not necessarily needed on a confined ship. That's a good point. But with this mythic weapon training, if I take weapon focus with a certain kind of weapon in that weapon group, it will then apply to all weapons from that weapon group. So I could take weapon focus spear, and then whatever kind of weapon is in the spear, the spear group. Let's look. .com weapon groups. Hold on, that's Starfinder. Weapon groups. It's definitely a fighter thing. Oh yeah, later on I'll be taking weapon training. That's not until 5th level. At 5th level, I'll be selecting one group of weapons, and when I attack with a weapon from that group, I gain a +1 bonus on attack and damage rolls. So if I went with spears, for example, that applies to the Amentum. Hold on, let me show you guys. Just a sec. Ah. Come on, where's it going? Where'd it go? Sorry, y'all. Here it is. So if I take spear, for example, I was on Nethys. I'm now at D20 PFSRD because it's also a good So Amentum, Boar Spear, Trident, regular spear, javelin, short spear, long spear, harpoon, lance, all very nice weapons. However, though, if I really do want to stick with the Geralt's inspiration, I may want to go with the blades, heavy blades, great sword, dueling sword, scimitar. Scimitar's nice. I don't think I want to go with light blades. I think definitely either great blades or spears. He is a yeah, GG, thank you. He is a look. I've got a ship set up here for future stuff. He is an aquatic warrior, so having things that jab underwater is usually the way to go. Oh, mythic weapon training. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling mythic weapon training. There's a swimming master, mythic path ability. You're right, GG. Blades are not good underwater. So even though I kind of want to, I had this inspiration, this is a part where it doesn't really work as well. I'm looking for a mythic path ability that would help keep him safe. Longevity. You can no longer die from old age. I'm not worried about that, honestly. Ancestral arms. You receive a masterwork weapon, shield, or suit of armor as an inheritance. Huh. You can enchant it as well. That's weird. Whoa, where would he have gotten that from? Oh, I don't know. This is very interesting. This is called Analytical Eye. And it would work with the Geralt's inspiration. When a creature you can see makes an attack, you can spend one use of mythic power as an immediate action to analyze its fighting style and capabilities. You learn all combat feats that the creature possesses. You gain an insight bonus equal to 1/2 your tier to AC against that opponent until the end of your next turn. If you use the aid another action, your ally gets it instead. I have to spend mythic power to make that happen. But I like that a lot. Analytical Eye. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Looking quickly through some of these other ones. Dramatic Reveal. You gain a striking personal feature for which you are famous. There is something about this. Legendary item, GG WoW. Legendary item, here it is. This item grants a number of abilities equal to your tier, maximum 3. Oh. We're talking path abilities. So I could take a legendary item. Yeah, striking good looks. That's the thing, Zero. Azarketi, if you look it up, they have... in second edition, it specifically says that they're often hairless, and I kind of really wanted to give him like black hair and like these like skull ridges at the top, like kind of framing it, so that you can conceal this trademark, so it goes unnoticed to you. In addition, once per day as a free action, you can suddenly reveal yourself, giving you a bonus on a diplomacy or intimidate. Spell it. What? Azarketi? Dramatic Reveal? Analytical Eye? Legendary item? Well, I just listed like 5 different things. You can see it right underneath my my Zoom window. The Azarketi. It's the new extra mythic power. Oh, 2 additional times per day. This legendary item one, though, GG. If I give myself a legendary item, I can pick 3 other abilities equal to your tier. So I would start with 1 ability, and then it would grow and become 2 and become 3. But what is the item that we have? Custom armor or weapon? Maybe a spear? It's in his name. Spear Morska. I did think about... I like it too because we've specifically said that he is from the Isle of Kortos, that his family lives in Eskedar, where there is quite a large Gillmen Azarketi contingent. So we could kind of like give like an Aslanti backdrop to it. And then at tier 3, I could grab extra mythic power. I could grab Analytical Eye, which I really want. And I could also grab, maybe some sort of speed, maybe mythic weapon training, but then I'd always want to be using that weapon, right? Then it becomes a lesser artifact. Oh, I don't know. Fuck. I think I'm going to skip the legendary item. I don't necessarily want to deal with an artifact like that. I want to be able to switch weapons and equipment as I go. So I'm going to go with the Analytical Eye, which allows me to analyze a creature's fighting style and capabilities, and then gain an insight bonus to AC against that opponent. I feel pretty good about that one. And I like that for Geralt too. That kind of captures his like monster hunting knowledge, since I don't have any of that knowledge in my knowledge skills. That's a good point, GG. To have those extra, surges would be nice. I did take guidance as a cantrip, so I can add +1, which I know isn't much, but it's definitely something. I think Analytical Eye is the one I'm going to go with. Oof, and then we get a Mythic Feat. Amphibious Adaptation, I don't need that. I could take a Mythic Class ability. The Eye, I think, works pretty well, especially without any of that knowledge, those knowledge skills. I could take Dual Path. I was looking at the Stranger Path, and so being able to like kind of dual path like along with the gestalt aspect, I quite like that. Potent Surge. Whenever you use your Surge ability, add 1 to your Surge result. Share Breath. As a full round action, you can imbue an ally with the ability to breathe water. Your ally must remain within 5 feet times your mythic rank or tier. That's cool. Oh my god. Mythic spells. Yeah, totally. I want to focus on, the martial aspect of him, but I looking at some of the mythic paths, making like an archmage or a hierophant, I think would be super fun. Share Breath sounds awesome because having that Besmaran Aboleth quality. There's also Desperate Battler. I took this feat already, but I could take it again. Here's extra mythic power. I could take extra mythic power here. I think I'm going to do that. There's Ultimate Resolve. Nah, Unsanctioned Detection. Nah, I'm just going to go with the extra mythic power here. Get those extra uses of mythic power. I've got those champion strikes. I've got those Analytical Eyes. That sounds great. Okay. I'm going to switch up the music while we're here. Go to Waterkeep. We're getting close to the end of the stream, so I want to thank y'all again for hanging out with me as we do character creation. I think every Saturday I will be working my way through the Skull and Shackles adventure path, especially because we're going to be pirate raiding over to Manapot Studios at the end of these streams, just to go and support our friends in the Flights of Fandom crew. Oh, here's where I pick my traits. Under feats. We're gonna grab that campaign trait from Skull and Shackles. So we're gonna take Besmara's Blessing. I gain a +1 bonus on Perception and Proficient Sailor checks. Then there's a lot of other traits to look at. Armor Expert. When you wear armor of any sort, reduce that suit's armor check penalty by 1. Not bad. Reckless? I don't think he's reckless. Scarred Descendant. Oh, racial traits. I'm not sure if there are any for the Gillmen. Memory Mastery. You can suppress your own memories to help tell more convincing lies. Once per day as an immediate action, you can cause yourself to forget a single event or fact for a period of 10 minutes. Enemies reading your mind cannot learn the information. Until the memory returns, you gain a +10 trait bonus on bluff checks to convince others that you do not know the information. Oh, I have to take it. I absolutely have to take that trait. There's literally no reason not to. I love it. I love it. I think I wanted to take Fleet as my feat. Fleet feat. Just expanding my land speed as much as possible. While you're wearing light or no armor, your base speed increases by 5. I can't take Fleet. I might be wearing medium armor. Extra cantrips? Nah, extra revelation. That sounds nice. Extra revelation. Because I could take... There was the revelation for choosing your initiative. I liked that one quite a bit. Nemesis. Nah. Persuasive. Pestilent. There is power attack. Power attack might be a good idea. Especially as a fighter, you're building, a certain build. You're right. Totally GG WoW. I was just saying. And I feel like Cleave might be dependent on power attack. Yeah, I think so. We'll go with power attack. Now, we were looking at drawbacks. Or we were thinking about drawbacks. Just to get an extra trait. Headstrong. Meticulous, power hungry, pride. None of those work. Avarice. He's not greedy, nor is he dependent. I don't know. I don't feel like any of these drawbacks are necessarily working for him. I feel pretty good about this build so far. I'm going to go ahead and save Spear Morska. Skull and Shackles. We're going to save the portfolio here. It's not a terribly long list. I'm seeing attached, avarice, dependent, doubt, family ties, headstrong, hedonistic, lovesick, meticulous, paranoid, power hungry, pride, provincial, sentimental, vain, xenophobic, and zealous. And I don't feel like any of these are working for him. I mean, I think a part of his drawbacks is that he's detached. Headstrong, you feel compelled to correct every action and argument that contradicts your worldview. No. Paranoid? Power hungry? Power hungry, you're addicted to power. You take a -2 penalty in will saves against charm and compulsion effects if the creature creating the effect promises wealth or power. That is interesting, considering the Aboleth. 48, wow. GG, I may not have all of the options in my Hero Lab licenses. I definitely don't have all of the books. I downloaded a community pack that should have opened it up, but I wasn't able to get it to work. Doubt. You lack confidence in your abilities or confidence in the universe at large. Whenever you fail a skill or ability check, you take a -4 penalty on that type of skill or ability check for the next hour. Doubt's not so bad. I don't hate it. I was looking at power hungry. What about meticulous? No, definitely not. You take a -2 penalty on skills for which you're untrained. Absolutely not. I'm gonna skip the drawbacks. I definitely don't feel great about them. Okay, we're really close, y'all. I'm gonna grab 1,000 gold for our starting cash, and we're gonna look at armor. I think we want to be in hide armor, in some sort of medium armor. Because my dex isn't great. So maybe like scale mail, or even chain mail. I mean, I don't have to worry about sinking underwater. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Let's definitely grab that adventurous pack. Probably not an artisan's outfit, probably more like a explorer's outfit. Adventurous pack. Where am I seeing it? Pack? I don't see it in here. I see a whole bunch of kits for other classes. There's a dungeoneering kit. There is the shaman, the scald, the slayer's kit, spelunking kit. No, I don't see it. Well-provisioned adventurer. Interesting. I feel like if I went with the brawler's kit, backpack, bedroll, belt pouch, flint and steel, rope, torches, trail rations, and a water skin. I mean, that would do me good. There's the hunter's kit, a backpack, bedroll, belt pouch, flint and steel with an iron pot, mess kit, rope, a spell component pouch. Do I need spell components? If I could have a wooden, it also comes with a wooden holy symbol, which would be helpful for my spells with material focuses. The War Priest's kit. Yeah, I think the Brawler's kit. It's pretty bare bones. I like the Hunter's kit with the iron pot. But also, like, what kind of fires am I making when in my life underwater? Yeah, let's go with the Brawler's kit. Add that. Yes. Cool. Double check my spells. Magic Weapon and Shield of Faith both have material components. Divine Focus and Shield of Faith has material components. So I will need a holy symbol. A wooden one. We'll grab that. And I will need a component pouch. Compo. Spell component pouch. There we go. Add and close. I will need those for sure. Let's head over back to armor. How much money do I have at this point? 985. I've got a lot of gold. Yeah, with the decks that I have, I definitely want to be wearing medium armor. I don't think I'm gonna wear heavy armor. That's lowering my speed, I'm pretty sure. It also costs quite a bit. Splint mail is 200. Weighs 45 pounds. Armor check penalty -7. So good luck climbing anything in that armor. Includes gauntlets. And it slows you down. No thanks. You're right, Zero. I am a sailor. But like, when I'm sailing, why am I wearing armor? Like, I can just take that off and put it down when I'm on a ship. I do, and I'm worried about getting hit. The more hits I take, the closer I get to going unconscious, to dying. It's tough. Here's Kiko Armor. Kiko Armor consists of a clever arrangement of hexagonal plates made from iron and sewn to cloth, granting the wearer greater flexibility than that provided by many armors. AC bonus of +5. Arutaki coat. I don't see the Arutaki coat in here. I may not have that option. It is pirates. I grant you that. But I feel like I definitely gotta go with some sort of medium armor. Here we go. The Agile Breastplate. It's specifically crafted in a manner that allows extra maneuverability. The armor check penalty for climb checks and acrobatic checks made to jump is only -1. And I could upgrade that to a masterwork to reduce the penalty as like even further. That's 400 gold plus 6 AC. It's only an armor check penalty of -4, so -3 for climbing and swimming. And I can't sink because I have a swim speed. I'm automatically passing any swim checks underwater. So whatever armor I'm wearing, however heavy it may be or constricting, I'm not too bothered by it. Because Zero, to your point, if I had massive decks, I would want to be wearing light armor. You know, like a +4 bonus. It would allow me to use that dodge as much as possible. I think we're going to go with the Agile Breastplate. I did like the Kiko Armor, which is only a... Yeah, I'm definitely going to try and make it masterwork. I liked the Kiko Armor because of the hexagonal plates idea. Especially, I feel like that's something that the Azarketi would be interested in. They would have armor that, you know, kind of moves around them as they're moving through the water, as they're swimming. Let's see, I'm going to make it masterwork. What did I say, Kiko? It's not popping up. Oh, I gotta do custom armor, I think. Hold on. Custom armor. Add. The Agile Breastplate. That might be the best. If I make, that's 400 gold. If I make it masterwork, that's 550. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So while I'm wearing it, my speed drops down to 20. My acrobatics becomes a -2, whereas before it was a +1. My climb comes down, maybe not at all. My climb is unaffected. My swim goes from a +15 to a +12. And my AC becomes 18. That's just necessary. Where's that +1 insight bonus coming from? Is that coming from Mythic? My Analytical Eye? Where is that coming from? +1 insight. Because the Analytical Eye shouldn't necessarily be... It's not. Or it was. That's weird. So I'm sitting at a 17. Yeah, 6 + 1 is 17. Okay. And then once I turn on the Analytical Eye, it becomes an 18 against that person. Okay. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. I need a weapon. I have 435 gold left. So we may want to give myself a masterwork weapon. I'm definitely thinking a spear. I also feel like he maybe should have a shield. So we may be looking at a short spear then. But then I can't cast spells. But the only spells I'm casting in combat, Magic Weapon, Shield of Faith, I'm going to try and cast those like before combat begins or as combat is starting. And so in that regard, I won't necessarily be bothered by having a shield, having a short spear. They're super cheap. But then I can't, if I do masterwork, they're not cheap. It's plus 300 gold. I can't do 2 masterwork weapons. I'm not going to do any masterwork weapons. I'm going to buy regular weapons. I'm going to buy a spear and a short spear. I'm also going to grab a dagger. Because why the fuck not? And then I'm going to add a shield. I think a buckler. If I'm wielding a buckler, you can use a shield arm to wield a weapon. I could wield a two-handed weapon with a buckler as well. But then it applies... then I get a -1 penalty on attack rolls while doing so. There's a light steel quick draw shield. This light shield is specifically crafted with a series of straps to allow a character proficient to ready or stow it on their back quickly and easily. Aha! It basically lets me quick draw shields. That's fucking awesome. However, for some reason the armor check penalty is -2 instead of -1. I think I'll just grab a light wooden shield for now. Add. So with that equipped, I'm sitting at an 18 AC, which is good. Ah, fuck. I'm also carrying a medium load at this point. So I have a -3 further armor check penalty. Yikes. Trident is a nice option I could do a trident instead of a spear, but I like having a spear because his name is Spear. I don't know. There's just something about the aesthetics of that makes me smile. I'm not too worried about the encumbrance that he's dealing with at the moment. I feel like, I don't know, where is the majority of this stuff coming from? Up to 173 pounds. The armor only weighs 25 pounds. He's carrying 87 pounds. Oh my god, he's right above. He literally is 1 pound above the light load. Okay, let me sell... Oh, should I sell the spear? Should I sell the shield? I don't know. I've got... Oh, let's check. It did not come with a tent. It came with 10 torches, which I don't need those because I can cast light. So we're going to go ahead and sell those for 100%, get that 1 silver back. Yeah, baby! And now we're at that light, sweet, sweet light load. I'm also going to sell that. I mean, I could use flint and steel probably. I'll hold on to that. Besmara. At a certain point, the gold is also weighing him down at 8.56 pounds. The spell component pouch. That weighs 2 pounds. Do I really need a spell component pouch? Am I going to be that hardcore on myself? Yeah. Light, I can use my Divine Focus. Resistance, I can use my Divine Focus. The only issue is Shield of Faith requires a parchment with holy text written on it. And without that component pouch, I don't have those holy texts. That's going to be sweet. Cast Shield of Faith, have my shield and my spear, and I'm sitting at a 20 AC. That's a good point, GG. Honestly, I feel like I'm of the mind, of the 5e mind, where if I'm using a Divine Focus, I like using Arcane Focuses. I think Pathfinder 2nd Edition uses that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that spell component pouch. Okay, I've got 432 gold left. I definitely want a healing potion. Potion of... I'm going to give myself 2 potions of Cure Light Wounds. I can cast Cure Light Wounds. I'm going to give myself 2 potions of Cure Light Wounds. That leaves me with 332 gold. I feel like I also want another type of potion. Maybe Potion of Bull's Strength. That's hella sweet. That's also 300 gold. Potion of... You're so right. Hold on. Okay, sell those potions back. And buy myself a wand, baby. Wand of Cure Light Wounds, 750 gold. We can buy a custom wand with less charges. Cure. It's setting it as a level 2 spell. Oh, no, that's just... that doesn't make sense. There it is. There's a level 1 spell. Okay, select. 25 charges would be 375 gold. What? I have like 400 something? Let's do 20 charges. I want to hold on to some gold. That's 300 gold. Add. Close. Okay. I think that's great. Sitting at 132 gold left. I have just enough equipment to be under the light encumbrance of things. I have my character, y'all. Spear Morska, the Azarketi Fighter Oracle Champion of Besmara. I'm pretty happy with this. I feel pretty good about it, actually. Yeah. Okay, I think with that, we're heading to the end of tonight's stream. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I super appreciate it, especially because we may qualify for affiliate after tonight's stream, just because we've had lots of people in it so far. I do ask that you stay tuned for the raid. I want us to we're gonna raid Manapot Studios and join them for the finale of their Star Wars campaign, Long Shot. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. I super appreciate it. Be ready. Next Saturday, we're gonna jump in and start the campaign properly. So definitely be there and be ready to sail the high seas. Have a great day or a great night wherever you are, and be good. Thanks, y'all.